Well, hello. Like I was introduced, my name is Jeff. IVAW and Military Project. Been invited here tonight to talk about, first of all, why do we do outreach? Why are anti-war activists, why are veteran activists doing outreach to soldiers that are on military bases, active duty soldiers, National Guard, whatever branch it is, it's very valid that we do it and very important. First of all, in my experience, in my opinion on this, soldiers and military families are receiving the full blunt of the effects of the war. Now, a lot of people say, oh, well, in a very abstract way, yeah, we're all facing the effects of the war. But military families and the soldiers that are fighting the war are obviously receiving the fullest extent of the damage. It's important that we do outreach to these people, mostly because it's an issue of solidarity. We're showing them that we care about the situation that they're in, where they feel that most other American citizens don't really care or can connect to their experience. Whereas you don't have to be a veteran or a soldier or a veteran activist to do outreach, but just to show that you do sympathize with their situation, build stronger connections with the military community. Two, it's very important that soldiers know that they are citizen soldiers and that they have democratic rights. That can be debated for officer class of soldiers that have more restrictions on their freedom of speech, but soldiers actually have the freedom to dissent and the freedom to question issues of legality of their orders. And not only that, but they have an order to resist unlawful orders, and they have a duty to resist unlawful commands. And when soldiers realize that they're the ones that have the guns and they can always turn around and point them back the other direction, that's where the real power to stop the war machine starts. So to do outreach and help build that solidarity and help build that strength to organize these citizen soldiers is very vital. And that just segues into the third point, is that politicians won't end this war, but soldiers will, and everyone here knows that. And then there's a history of that, obviously, as Tom hinted, the Vietnam conflict, the Vietnam War, that killed millions of people for no good purposes, was finally put down to an end, mostly by soldiers in revolt and, of course, the North Vietnamese Army. So those two combinations put together, having such resistance, the American war machine couldn't continue on, and we feel, as a military project and as Iraq Veterans Against the War as well, that soldiers do have that power and that capability, and it's going to be a matter of time until it's harnessed and released. But in the meantime, we need to be doing outreach and showing that we have solidarity for GI resistance. Why we chose Fort Stewart. There's been a lot of bases that have received outreach, and a lot of veteran activists have been doing outreach in different places to very various and very good positive results. We're choosing Fort Stewart on this next task because Fort Stewart is home of one of the most used combat brigades in the Army, the 1st Brigade, 3rd Infantry Division. They've done countless tours in Iraq. They were one of the units that was used in the ground invasion. This is important to consider when you think that soldiers who have been deployed repeatedly in their short careers, some soldiers haven't served for 7 or 8 years, have been to Iraq for 5 or 6 times, and that's pretty significant to think about when you recently learn that this particular unit with so much combat experience has been activated for domestic use in emergency responses. Which this use of a combat brigade in domestic operations, it breaks all protocol with posse comitatus, which Bush dismantled back in 2006, and it thus allows for active duty military to be used for the purposes of martial law. Activating these combat brigades with missions in Iraq underneath their belt, it's an obvious threat to the citizens of this country, and in my opinion is an open declaration of war against the people of the United States by activating this unit. So outreach to these soldiers is going to be very vital. Mostly, the most important thing of doing outreach to this unit is that we are facing a situation in America where an active duty unit has already been notified and activated to do domestic operations in the U.S. We need to build connections of solidarity with these soldiers that are in these units. This one in particular, but it could be more in the future. We need to start doing outreach to soldiers to show them that their enemy in domestic operations is not the people that they consider their fellow country people. These people are their cousins, their brothers, their sisters, their aunts, their uncles. These are their families. These are your fellow country people. And we need to show that we're out there, we care about them, we care about their safety, we want them home, but we're also their allies in the struggle. And we need to show them that the people of the United States are not the enemy. The perpetrators and the orchestrators of these wars are the enemy. People sending them on these orders are the enemy. And if we can build those connections and show solidarity between the civilian citizens and soldier citizens, then we are going to be that much closer to ending the war machine, putting an end to these wars in the Middle East that will go on forever unless stopped, and also preventing any kind of domestic usage of our military against us. So that's why we chose Fort Stewart for this outreach, and I'll leave it at that and turn it over to the next speaker. Thank you.